So, how are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. This is fantastic. Lovely to speak to you. When you got in
That's
touch with me, I said, I'll be there.
Who would have guessed that? Lovely to meet you, and thank you so much for actually doing this with me. I never
That's my
expected.
pleasure.
My first question is: did you have to audition for the role of Winnie the Pooh Blood Honey 2, or just did the Race Waterfield or the casting director just straight up knew that you wanted the role, or just
Well,
they wanted you know?
that's a very good question, and really, the way it worked was that I have worked with this company several times. I think probably in about 14 or 15 films before this, and so they knew me very well. Yes, for films such as, for example, The Viking Revenge, Dinosaur Hotel 2, Dinosaur Prison, Dinosaur Hotel 3, and Honey Trap, Three Blind Mice, Shockwaves. You know what? There's so many I can't even remember them all. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll remember them if you say them, but I've worked with them, so they know me very well, and they also know what I can do and how I can deliver the part. And it was, I mean, Reese got in touch with me. He just said, Al, you are Owl. And so would you like to play him? Of course, I'd love to play Owl. It's fantastic. I was actually in the first film as well. It was a very small part, and I was the champagne drinking redneck in that, smashing Pooh over the head. But with Owl, of course, I've got a full face prosthetic, so there was no mix up with, like, oh, it's the same actor who's playing that. So and as it turns out, it doesn't matter. So I didn't have to audition for it, but what I did do was create the character.
Yeah.
Because when you're given the script, you're just given, well, you obviously learn the words, but what you have to do is you have to create the character. What's he all about? And that's a very individual thing. And the trick is to know the character in intricate detail. In the same way that if Al was actually watching the film,
Right. Yeah.
then our character, a living character, if somebody was to play you in a film, for example, and they were to pick up their mug like this, and if that's not the way you do it, you'd be very annoyed. You'd be going, that's not how I do that, and that's not. So this is the importance of doing it in intricate detail. And if you're playing a fictional character, the important thing is to give that character the same effort as if it was an actual real character. And if they're watching you, would they be satisfied with your portrayal? So you have to know everything about the character, and that's where the fun comes in, really. The learning of the lines is, quite honestly, the most boring part of the whole exercise. It's literally sitting there reading it, and repeating it to yourself. There's no fun in that. That's just it's a boring exercise you have to do by rote. But the fun is where you create the character, you become the character, you find aspects of Owl that is inside of you. So you're not acting, you're not pretending to be Owl. What you're doing is you actually are Owl. But if you're pretending, then that just looks like artifice. It looks like indicating what Owl is feeling and doing, or it's a pretense. But
Of the original,